You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. Well, guys, like I've always told you, when people got receipts, they always use them against you. Now, radio host Ken Carman and Anthony Lima and Jonathan Peterlin, man, they really went at Anthony Lima and exposed him because they got receipts over this whole Shedeur Sanders situation. But we're going to talk about it right after this. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, man, Jonathan Peterlin of ESPN Cleveland, he didn't hold no punches back. He went right at Anthony Lima. And, you know, Anthony Lima and Ken Carman have a radio show in the morning. And a lot of people always says that, you know, Anthony Lima did a lot of hating on Shedeur Sanders because his evaluation of Shedeur Sanders, he said he wasn't real good. He said that Dillon Gabriel was a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. And a lot of people was going at Anthony Lima, you know, and now that Shedeur Sanders is balling out, everybody wants to change their tone, including Anthony Lima. Anthony Lima will sneak in some subtle little soliloquies about, oh, he's better than a fifth-round draft choice, but he wasn't saying that when Dillon Gabriel was the starter. He was saying that Shedeur Sanders had a learning curve. He didn't know the playbook. He didn't know how to read, you know, NFL defenses. He said a lot of things, and he was getting all this stuff fed to him by people in Cleveland inside the building. And he was out there spewing that narrative out about Shedeur Sanders, which we've already exposed all the lies and narratives about Shedeur Sanders. And Anthony Lima was attacked today by Ken Carman and Jonathan Peterlin. And they said some things, man, and you got to pay attention to it because Ken Carman just let Anthony Lima just sink in quicksand. And we've heard little sound bites of what Anthony Lima has said. And we got a few sound bites that we want to play you guys today so y'all can follow the story. But I've always told you, receipts is a mother. And when you have them receipts and something don't go your way and you try to return it and they say return the sender, they got you. So now Anthony Lima, he's stuck in the trick bag. And Jonathan Peterlin let him have it. Also, him and Ken Carman and Anthony Lima, they had a war of words, like a dogfight inside the studio. But before we get off into that, we partnered up with Underdog Fantasy, and this is a word for our sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best way to play fantasy sports. Let me tell you about the easiest way to get in on some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, win you some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and win some serious cash. Use my promo code SBD23 and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Now that it's football time, follow Simply Ball Dropping as I share my picks. Like I said, pick your player, choose your amount, win money. Make picks, win cash. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for the partnership with us. And thank you for using promo code SBD23 on Underdog Fantasy.
Well, guys, with that being said, let's listen to a little soundbite of Anthony Lima on his expectations on how he thought Shedeur Sanders would perform when he got the starting job. Let's take a listen.
Go ahead. So everybody that's saying, Lima, you've been wrong on Shedeur. Everybody's been, or the haters have been wrong on Shedeur. How good do you think he is? in this early part of his career. I don't know. He had a lot working against him.
I think it's been much better than I expected it to be. I
agree.
expected this to go bad for a multitude of reasons.
I expected a little more like Baltimore.
Wow.
The second half, because it was ugly. I kind of expected, him to be tricked, like rookie quarterbacks get tricked a lot by defensive coordinators.
Now, you heard what Anthony Lima said. He said he expected Shedeur Sanders to be just like the second half against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, that's a sign of a hater, right? So now, Jonathan Peterlin called in on the Ken Carman and Anthony Lima show earlier today. And let's take a listen to what Jonathan Peterlin said. And he went straight at Anthony Lima. Let's take a listen.
Peterlin went after Tone Master General.
Why would he do that?
Well, we'll find out here.
Was wow, that was big of Lima. Like, he didn't have to concede all of that right then and there. And while admitting basically that he just fell victim to the idea that the Browns were pushing him all sorts of information, and like a sucker at the poker table, he was buying it. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm shocked he did that. Behind the scenes about Shedeur's lack of development and all this other stuff. And then it was hogwash. And meanwhile, I was getting shouted down by people like Lima who were telling me, no. You're not talking to the right people. Everyone that's there says he can't even do anything, can't even hold a football. It's like, no, guys, he can. He was really good in college. I'm telling you, this is going to translate. But to have the admittance there that you just took what they said and you ate it up and then tried spoon feeding it to everybody is what drives me insane. Have a thought for yourself. Have an opinion for yourself. Don't just take what the Browns tell you. That's the part that I get mad about.
Well,
guns ablazing from Jonathan.
I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to pour myself a cup of coffee. I'm going to let you take her away.
No, you don't have to leave. I don't want you.
I'm just going to walk over and pour myself a cup of coffee. I want to just sip the coffee.
First of all, we are colleagues. Jonathan does a terrific job with Nick. No, get over here. I told you we're having a conversation about this because I respect that he came out and we cut it off, the first part of the clip, that he said he thought I was being a bigger man for, coming to terms with some of Shedeur's play, which how could you deny it? You'd have to be a hater. You'd have to be a literal hater and a stubborn jerk to not talk about what we all saw there, which was big play capability, which we had said since day one, we thought he could author that up much better than the guy that was playing. I never understood why Shedeur was not getting the nod ahead of time, other than the stuff that was all that the Browns were saying.
That's the point.
He's right. I did. I listened to a lot. Breer, we played his clip earlier today. Breer said he knows a number of the people in the building. They were all saying Shedeur was behind.
And see, that's the issue. He said it himself. He exposed himself right there because he was listening to all the noise that was on the inside. And he was the one coming out pushing that narrative about Shedeur wasn't this. He was behind the 8 ball. He couldn't learn the offensive playbook. He didn't have the quarterback awareness or the IQ. And that's why he thought Dylan Gabriel was better. And this is where it gets tricky because his own partner, Ken Carman, went after him. So let's take a listen to what Ken Carman said to Anthony Lima. And it got ugly. Take a listen.
You don't want to fight for yourself or fight for your history. That's okay.
I think it's up to the Browns to fight for me, and the Browns haven't fought for me. So what am I supposed to give them all this fake emotion? For me, it'd be fake.
No, you fight for yourself.
I got to be honest. It would be fake coming from me.
You fight for yourself. I don't know. I don't understand why we're just going to be sitting here like, well, we're victimized by the Browns. This is about, again, the whole thing is about you as fans.
It's up to the football team to actually go and win games on the field to make this stuff go away.
They ain't going to do it, so I got to speak up for someone, don't I? But they ain't going to do it, then I got to speak up for somebody.
I think your anger is really misdirected, and I think internally,
my anger is not misdirected. You are not my therapist. My anger is not misdirected.
Just in listening to you, I think you're truly mad. And you agreed with me early in the week. You're mad at the Browns. That's who you're mad at because I'm always mad at the Browns. I'm mad at the Browns for plenty of other things, not just this. Jesus. They make it an unfair fight.
Tell us to talk once we shut up.
Jesus, I can't just talk over you the whole time if you're not letting me get in. It's a tough listen for the fans, Ken, when you just keep going and keep going and keep going.
Teach me how to do radio. That's fine. That's going to make it good too. Fine. Go ahead. Lead the conversation.
No, go ahead.
No,
Take
lead, please.
I'm
lead.
done.
I don't need
I'm
to take
done.
the calls.
I'm done.
Who needs to take the calls? I don't need
Or
to
move
take
on
the
to the
calls.
next subject.
I can
Fine.
take the calls.
I don't need to move on to the next subject.
Do something else to get us out.
No,
Wow. Now you heard that. Now see, Ken Carmen went off on him. It's about time somebody has really checked Anthony Lima over his dislike, just like Kevin Stefanski for Shedeur Sanders. And see, he was listening to all that bull jive that was coming from out of the building, and he was pushing it into the stratosphere. And he had people believing that stuff. And that's why Jonathan Peterlin called in, and he went after him because you was drinking the Kool-Aid and you was putting it out there. But we know Anthony Lima does not like Shedeur Sanders. He used to be on Shedeur Sanders' side, but he flipped all of a sudden because Dylan Gabriel was a starter. And I think he is very fond of Dylan Gabriel, just like Kevin Stefanski. But at this particular time, it's all coming out. And I told you guys, the receipts will get you exposed each time. So you got to stand 10 toes down, because we've stood 10 toes down because we know what Shedeur Sanders is. We know what Shedeur Sanders is capable of doing. We know how Shedeur Sanders plays. And just like Jonathan Peterlin said, we saw all this in college. And now you got radio show hosts, partners fighting with each other over this whole Shedeur Sanders thing. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.